Chapter 22. Okay, we had just left off, and Cole had kind of saved the day. He got the tarps covering the hole on top of Boo's stall, and so it says, it leaves off, for the first time since I got here, I feel all right. Chapter 22. They tie that rope nice and tight around a post, and looking into the barn, I can see the blue tarp has stopped the rain for now. Hopefully, it'll clear up and they can fix it for real tomorrow. In the meantime, we all head back to the clubhouse to get out of the storm. When the door opens, man, something smells good. Some of the old-time cowboys been cooking up something tasty, and we have us a big old party. There must be 30 guys in here now, and the funny thing is, they all treating me like I'm no different than them. We eat and drink, well, I don't have no beer, but they brought out root beer for me, and complain about the craziness of this storm and how global warming is making the weather all backwards. When things get good and toasty, Tex starts telling us some of his stories from the olden days, back when he was a rodeo star in Texas. That's why they call him Tex, duh. One of the first black cowboys to make his mark on the circuit. Everyone says he was the best in his day, but he says his daddy and granddaddy were even better. Back in them days, they used to roam the open country, herding cattle on the Chisholm Trail. The guys nod like that's something they heard about the Old West. What's so special about that, I ask? Tex's eyes get all dreamy. That was back when you could ride for days on end without seeing a city. Just open land as far as the eye could see. No fences, no roads. They slept under the stars, bathed in the river, and when they was hungry, they just shot a rabbit and ate it. I hope they cooked it first, I say, and they all bust up like I said something funny. I can't really imagine living that way. Seemed like my whole life everywhere I looked was city, walls, freeways, and buildings. I hardly ever seen an open stretch of land with no cement on it. That was back when the cowboy way meant something. Ain't that right, Tex? Harp asked. Tex nods in agreement. What's the cowboy way? I ask. Harper puts down his drink and glances at everyone around him. The old guys smile like they know. Some of the younger ones just shrug. The cowboy way started because back in the day, you couldn't trust the law. Still can't, Tex pipes in. Law was under the rule of the land barons. The sheriffs did what barons said and ignored the will of the people. So the cowboys had to take on their own brand of justice, cowboy justice. All that John Wayne stuff, you know. You can live outside the law as long as you're honest and live by the code. Don't steal nobody's cattle or their women. Treat your horse like it was your best friend because sometimes that's all you got. Most important, trust and believe in your guys and always have their back when they need you. The old-timers is nodding, saying amen, and you got that right. The cowboy way is, no matter what, never ever give up fighting when the chips are down. Real cowboys never give up, Harp says, staring me down like he wants me to believe that. I look around and it's like one big family, everyone helping out and watching out for each other, and it feels like Harp now wants me there too. Ain't nothing changed, says Jamaica Bob. Cowboys still fighting to protect their ways in land wars where bosses are trying to run them out. Only difference now is the Chisholm Trail is a freeway today. We got to stick to our ways so that the young people have a safe place in this world, a place where the old values still count. He raises his bottle, and even the younger guys yell out in agreement. We all raise our bottles too, and looking around at all these cowboys makes me feel like we in the Old West still. Chapter 23. Once we back in the house, I stare out the window thinking what it would be like to stay here and live the cowboy way. Hanging out with all of them, that might be all right. I could learn to ride, maybe teach other kids how to work at the stables, and I wouldn't have to worry about school no more. I could just be a cowboy, 'cause if you a cowboy, you do as you feel, not as you're told. You don't have to sleep in the closet if you don't want to. I turn and see Harper staring at me. He scratches his head and says, "If you want to, you can sleep in my bed." "With you?" I ask. He laughs. "Yeah, with me. I ain't sleeping in the closet." I laugh. Anything is better than that closet. That night, though, I can't sleep. I lay there listening to Harper snore. Off in the distance, I hear a gunshot, thumping car music, and choppers in the air. I keep thinking about Mama and when she gonna show up and take me back so I can start summer school. But she seemed farther away than ever. I don't remember falling asleep, but Boo must have still been on my mind, 'cause I had this dream where I was riding him along the Chisholm Trail. We was headed up to Detroit. That bird. Where was I? I wandered off thinking about that bird. Okay, I don't remember falling asleep, but Boo must have still been on my mind, 'cause I had this dream where I was riding him along the Chisholm Trail. We was heading up to Detroit, rustling cattle and all. Harp and Tex and Jamaica Bob was there too. There was no cities, no loud cars, no gunshots, only wide open forever as far as I could see. We sat around a fire at night eating beans and such and listening to a cowboy named John Coltrane play his sax. I said it was a dream. The last thing I remember was coming to the end of the trail and seeing a big city off in the distance. Harper says to me, "There it is. That's where your mama's at." But I don't remember riding off to it. When I wake up, it's still early. The clock says 5:30 and Harper's dead asleep. I get up and look out the window. The rain has finally stopped, but everything feels like it's drenched to the bone. I can see the Ritz-Carlton from here. That blue tarp, which I almost killed myself over, blew loose and is drooping down into the hole in the roof. Dang, I think of Boo again, and suddenly feel like going to see how he's holding up. I find my boots and coat and sneak out without waking Harper. I shush Lightning as I walk past. He ignores me. Outside, the stoop leads right into a lake. The whole street is flooded. The water come up. I love you too. The water come up to the middle of my boots as I move slowly through it, so it's not to get mud down into my socks. Nobody's out yet, and the place seemed eerie quiet. Where there ain't water, there's mud, just like it washed everything from the vacant lots onto the streets. What a mess! I climb the fence over into the stables and immediately spot Boo. He must have been rolling around in muck and who knows what, 'cause his fur's all ruffled up and covered in mud. Poor Boo. He looks like a Skid Row horse or something awful, but he brightens up when he sees me. I pet him on the head and he seems okay. Same old Boo, just needs a bath is all. I grab some hay and feed him. I can see some of the other horses in the corral all muddy like Boo, but they don't seem to mind. At least it looks like no more rain. Hopefully we can get this place all cleaned up soon enough. All right, I'll pick back up with chapter 24 tomorrow. Have a great afternoon.